Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at an Atlas locomotive, an HO scale. It's the MP-36 locomotive. I believe the first time reviewing this on the channel. This is Metrolink number 890. So let's see what you get with this Atlas ESU equipped locomotive. And oh, by the way, it's Atlas's 100th anniversary, so you get a special box with a special logo. So let's see what's in that box starting right now. We'll lift off the lid here. Very tight lid, and inside we've got manuals. We have Atlas one-step warranty registration card. There's exploded parts diagram so that you can order parts if missing on the locomotive. There's also more of the diagram for the internal workings. And then you have a quick start guide for the decoder, so you can always pause and look at those functions. 31 different functions listed here on this ESU decoder. Probably cause some remapping if you need that. Access to the other 3 functions. So, locomotive itself pops out. I'm happy to see that this is a different form of packaging. You don't have to deal with the screws. That's nice. There's some looks like brake chain detail, cylinder, just accessory details here in this bag. If you need to take a closer look. And the locomotive itself pops out. There's your Metrolink MP-36. So let's take a closer look at that. So Metrolink number 890 here with that slanted windshield, distinguished spotting feature of this locomotive. There are windshield wipers finally applied and detailed to that slanted windshield. You've got your lights here below, your headlight and ditch lights, 890 up front as well. MU receptacles on the nose. Hopefully you guys are seeing that okay. I'll try to zoom in for you a little better. But there are MU receptacles on the nose, and there's also hoses that are accessory hoses and a brake line hose that are slid behind the snowplow here. So they are positioned behind the snowplow, a little hard to see with all that black. Looks like a coupler cut bar is also installed on there, and then you have your sanding lines that you can see dangling in front of the wheels. Your crew cab with wind deflector or mirror. There's also crew access along with separately applied grabs to the cab. And in the middle section of this as well, you can see some fuel tank detail, including the emergency shutoff. There's a stirrup to access this side door here. Looks like battery box doors hanging kind of low on the locomotive. On the rear, you see the Metrolink logo. More of the same with the trucks. And the sanding lines rear of the trucks. Separately applied grabs on the rear. And the light on the rear is, there it looks like some marker lights and the rear light there. Separately applied grabs for the ladder for crew access. It looks like low-mounted MU receptacles again, coupler cut bar, and MU hoses and accessory hoses down there. You can see the rivet detail as well molded into the locomotive. There's grating along the side where the radiator fans and dynamic brake fan is, so I'll turn that to the side real quick so you can see the roof with the radiator fans, dynamic brake fans, and the grills along the side that are finely detailed. You have a separately applied horn placed right up here. And there's also finely detailed lift rings along the side. That's probably better suitable to be seen on the side. I'll try to get a view of that. As we zoom in, you can see some of those lift rings. And you can see the paint is nicely applied with a nice line between the black and white there. And the Metrolink is nice and clearly printed. So overall, it's looking like a solid locomotive so far. I will show you the bottom detail because there is plumbing on the bottom. So you'll see some conduit running on the underside of the sill. You see those air reservoir tanks, some plumbing. The fuel tank itself, some more plumbing. So they did their due diligence on the underside of this as well. All right, we're going to weigh this locomotive here. So you see what you get in terms of weight. 0.93 pounds, so almost there at a pound at 14.9 ounces. That's 421 grams. 14.9 total ounces, like I said, so approaching a pound for this locomotive is not bad at all. We'll give coupler height a look, and it looks like it is short, so sitting kind of low on the coupler height there. And we'll check front. Checking front is also low, so a little closer when coupled, but it's angled and hanging low when it's not coupled. Check pull testing. Looks like about 50 freight cars this could pull. Although this is a passenger locomotive, you're going to need it mostly for that, and it should be able to pull whatever passenger consist you have. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start this locomotive. F8 is the prime mover on ESU LOKSound. Zero is going to be your headlights. Just have a definite blue appearance. Bell. Horn. So I believe you get the auto bell with the horn, so you don't have to hit the bell separately. Yep. F3 is coupler. F4 is dynamic brake. May require movement. Not hearing dynamic brake on that. If it is, it's maybe really low and below the prime mover sounds. F5 is cat. Head-in power on or off. So you hear that lower sound. Sounds like a shutdown, really. So I don't know if that's different than F8 or not. F6 is auxiliary ditch lights. Also a blue tint. I'll show you those in the dark. It's front ditch lights flashing by default. F7's number boards. That lights up a front light. 8 is the prime mover we talked about. 9's drive hold, where if you're moving the locomotive and you hit F9, then the locomotive is going to stay at that speed, but it's going to change the prime mover with your throttle inputs. 10's independent brake. 11's fan sound. 12's dimmer. 13 is flange squeal. 13 is something you have to activate, and then it'll start as it moves. So you hear that flange squeal kick in. And the brakes as well. 14 is cab light. I don't know if that it does actually illuminate, so I'll show that in the dark. 15's isolation switch, 16's air dryer, 17's brake set and release, 18's sand valve, 19's short air let off, 20's compressor, 21's air dryer, 22's cab door, 23 engine compartment doors, 24 reverser centered, 25 shutters open closed, 26 through 28 are manual notching functions, 29's load, 30's automatic brake, and 31 is sound fader. So obviously not enough time to cover all those sounds, but I did want to go over them. I'm going to go in the dark now so we can take a look at what this looks like in the dark. As you can see, the cab light is on, headlights, ditch lights are on, and the number board up front is on. So if I start taking some of these off, so you can see them independently controlled, there goes the cab light, there goes the headlight obviously. The number board lights are on F7. And then you have your ditch lights on F6. So I'll put on the headlight and the number board lights again, or in the ditch light I mean. There's your flashing ditch lights. Here's a better front view of the headlight and ditch lights. Again, I'll turn the number board light on and the cab light. And we're back to full lighting features on the locomotive. In the rear of the locomotive, you see there are rear marker lights. And in reverse, those go out and the headlight or tail light goes on. When the reverse light is on, there's front marker lights on the inside of the ditch light housings, so interior to the ditch lights that also go on. Those are the front marker lights. A little hard to see both. There you go. I'm set up with the AccuTrack 2 speedometer here. And what we're going to do is test the slow speed control of the locomotive and also let you see if it's jerky at speed step 1. So as we're going through the AccuTrack, there's a status light down that's by kilometers per hour, but trust me, it's an HO scale and miles per hour setting. It's just the location of the status light. It blinks until it's starting to read, then it goes solid. And once the locomotive gets to the other sensor, it calculates the distance and provides a scale mile per hour for HO scale. And in this case, we have 0.9 scale miles per hour, which is excellent and very smooth operation. After I bumped it a little bit. That battery box door, the doors on the other side, are not low enough to impede any operation, so they might have looked low on the felt, but they are good and they have plenty of ground clearance, as you can see. So smooth operation in forward and in reverse, which Atlas paired with ESU, 99.9% of the time is going to do that. Excellent drives in Atlas locomotives, an excellent sound decoder and DCC control with ESU. And so it's a good match. And that creates for smooth operation. Well, that's going to wrap up our review of the Atlas HO scale MP-36 locomotive. Beautiful locomotive. Really finely detailed. No really dings to have on this locomotive except for NMRA compliance on the coupler heights slightly. Probably not going to affect operations much. And good sound, good drive control, nice detail, but yet still durable. It's a great locomotive. I'm going to leave you with a run-by of this by itself because I don't have any Metrolink stuff to go with it. But we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.
Many of the products you see in this video are available at trainworld.com. Since 1968, this family-owned business has been serving the needs of the modeling community with 2 New York brick-and-mortar store locations in Brooklyn and Long Island, plus their vast array of online items. Shop 24/7 at trainworld.com.